What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transport Wannabe. Just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update on my training, how things have been going, and things like that. Right now, we are sitting outside of a receiver in Oakland, California. Listen, keep this in the back of your mind, whether you happen to be going to Prime or some other trucking school. If you are going to be delivering some stuff in the San Francisco Bay Area, make sure that you have a place to stop overnight in mind before you come out here. Anyway, as far as the training goes, our last load took us from Cleveland, Ohio, back to the best coast, or the West Coast if you want to call it. The best thing about being in California, as far deep in California as we are, is we are no closer than 2.5 days away from the East Coast. If I had my preference, I would just keep my ass right out here on the left coast or the best coast. Keep me out of that northeast as much as possible. As far as the training goes, I think after this run, I should be right at about 20,000 miles, so 10,000 miles away from when my training could possibly be over. But like I said, I am trying to learn as much as possible, so I will probably stick around long after I meet that obligation. As far as things I need to kind of tune up a little bit better is could use some more work on some of this backing. It's a whole lot different than having those structured cones and things like that. So, I think I might, something just clicked today. I think I'll be good to go on that. The paperwork is going to be the paperwork. The business I came out of was all about paperwork, so I'm not too concerned about that. It seems like all these shippers and receivers are a little bit different as far as how you check in and what you do and things like that, so I'm not sure that you can really learn a whole lot because, all these companies are a little bit different. Although it would be nice to get to go to as many different shippers and receivers as possible, just to keep all that in the back of your mind in case you happen to stop by the same place. Getting used to filling out the the messages on the Qualcomm, whether it's you're arriving at a shipper, dropping a trailer, picking up a trailer, all those different kind of things. Those are things that are pretty straightforward. I mean, just make sure you type in the right stuff. Scanning in the paperwork, filling out the filling out the paperwork and sending that stuff in with your receipts. That seems to be pretty easy. The main thing I'm really trying to do is just get comfortable driving. Every day gets a little bit easier. As far as driving in rush hour traffic, there's differences in some of the rush hour traffic. So if you haven't driven a truck or you're about to get on the road driving a truck, rush hour traffic in LA, for example, to me seems a lot different than rush hour in, let's say, Oakland or Dallas for that matter. When traffic is going slow, it's easier to kind of do what you're doing. But in some of these areas, you still have rush hour traffic, but it's not as busy as like Oakland, or excuse me, it's not as busy as like LA. So people are still going fast, even though there's a lot of people on the road. So that's a little bit more challenging to deal with, just because you're dealing with it at a higher rate of speed. But really, all I try to do is stay in my little protective bubble. I can't worry about what's behind me. Normally, I'm in the right-hand lane, so really, I'm not too concerned about what's going on over there, except for traffic that's kind of merging. And, just try to keep a safe distance. Try not to get too flustered, because if you get a little too flustered, then it's a wrap. So things are going well, though. I'm starting to kind of settle in. I'm sure I'll be dealing with, more obstacles. I haven't hit any snow or anything like that, so that's going to be a challenge that's yet to come, which I probably may not even be able to get to until I'm actually, that might have to be one of those learn on your own kind of things right there. But I did do a lot of driving in the snow living in Colorado, so I'm not completely scared of the snow. Been getting a lot of rain driving in. The worst thing about the rain as far as my driving goes is I'm not 100% dialed in to knowing exactly what speed I'm going. So if it's raining and it's raining too hard and you turn your windshield wipers on, you're not going to be able to set the cruise control. So it's a lot to kind of take in driving down a road, you know, doing all the stuff that you have to do, and then make sure you're going at the right speed and all that kind of stuff. It's hard to explain, but sometimes I'll look down at the speedometer and I'll be going, you know, either a lot slower than I thought I was going or maybe a little bit faster than what I was going. But, you know, those are things, I guess, that you will learn in time. If you would have asked me before I started driving, I would have said I prefer driving at night. Now that I've been doing it almost exclusively, just because that's how the loads have been kind of coming, I'm not as big of a fan of driving at night. Anyway, I'm going to do a separate video on that because that creates a whole lot of different challenges that I didn't think would be challenges. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transport Wannabe. If you happen to be into that barbecue and cooking lifestyle, check me out on my other YouTube channel, No Hippie Barbecue and Cooking. I'm going to leave a couple links. Click on these boxes that are going to be somewhere around here. As a matter of fact, let me scoot over. I'm going to leave them right over here. And these are going to be some of the recipes I did on my other YouTube channel. Just click on that. Take you right to the video. I'm out.